If your mother puts her hands on you first, do you have the right to defend yourself and whoop her ass? The answer is yes. Motherfucking right. You have a right to whoop her fucking ass if she assaults you first. And yes, I'm referring to the fight on the Basketball Wives between Jackie Christie and her daughter Chantel. I know what I saw. Jackie put her hands on her daughter first. If you did not grow up with a narcissistic mother who scapegoated you and abused you your entire childhood, then this conversation is not for you, because you got one motherfucking time to get in my comment section and say, oh, but at the end of the day, that's still your mother. You only have one mother. Chantel was so wrong for going at her mother. You got one time. I'm blocking your ass, because none of y'all would understand that type of abuse unless you had a abusive mother, a shitty piece of shit mother who is unapologetic. She takes no accountability for the things she's done to you. She smirks when she sees you in pain. She's fucking sadistic. She oversteps boundaries. She still wants to control you and your money. She's jealous of your success. If you did not have a mother that fucking hateful, you cannot tell me nothing. Jackie Christie is every bit of a malignant narcissist. This is why I have no relationship with my mother. I cut her off. It's almost 20 years. I cut her off a long time ago. And let me tell y'all something. I used to be so quiet and so sweet. I allowed my mother to push over me. I've allowed my mother to gossip about me like a dog in the streets. I've sat up and watched my mother on the telephone talk about me like I'm a side chick. Gossip negatively about me, my body. I used to be overweight. She called me fat bitch, fat pig. Talk so much trash about me in front of me to her girlfriends on the phone, to family members. My mother is still married to her second husband who sexually molested me. My mother knew he touched me. I told her he molested me when I was in high school. Repeatedly told her. She did nothing. She stayed with him. And then when she sliced my face open in high school, and I have told this story a dozen times, my senior year in high school, she took a curling iron before I went to school in the morning and hit me in the face, sliced my eye. It was this side of my face, nasty open gash over here. Sent me to school so I could look ugly and feel ugly and be humiliated, so all my classmates could look at me and say, what happened to your face? But see, the way that God works, it was my school teacher and my guidance counselor who noticed the scar on my face. And they pulled me into the office and said, who did that to your face? And I wouldn't tell them. I was too scared. Remember, y'all, I'm a quiet girl. Think of the movie Precious. Precious was quiet. She was just scared to speak up for herself because her mother was so abusive. That movie was literally my life. I was the quiet fat girl that my mother just bullied constantly every fucking day. Name calling, fat shaming, body shaming. Like, my mother was a fucking demon. And, you know, once I finally confessed to my teachers and my guidance counselor that my mother cut my face open, yeah, they called Child Protective Services on my mother. I was in high school, senior in high school. And because I had told my mother that I had been molested repeatedly by her second husband, and she just chose, she's still married to the man. They've been married 30 something years. She's still with him to this day. She chose to stay with this fucking pedo. So I had an opportunity to tell my teacher and my guidance counselor, since nobody was listening, my mother would not listen and believe me. I told my guidance counselor. They put all that in the report with Child Protective Services, and my mother was investigated for an entire year. It was not an open shut case. They stayed on her ass for a whole year in South Carolina. And that's why, you know, and I got it on paper right now. I have the receipts. That's why my mother could never sue me for defamation. She knows she was a horrible piece of shit mother. And to know that I was walking around undiagnosed with autism, the bullying, the shaming, the body shaming, the sexual molestation, all of that as a child walking around undiagnosed with autism. But the crazy shit is I have family members who will actually guilt trip me to have a relationship with my mama. Year after year, I stayed quiet. I would not speak up for myself. And I got sick and tired. After a little while, I got sick and tired of motherfuckers in my family pressuring me to have a fucking relationship with that bitch, knowing she's a demon, knowing she will never change her ways. She refuses to go to a psychologist's office and get an assessment and evaluation. My mother is walking around undiagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. That is the problem. And when your parents are narcissistic, they will never be accountable for the trauma and pain they have caused you. Actually, they will continue to obsessively want to control their adult children, poke and provoke their adult children, stay in their adult children's personal business, violate boundaries, try to, if you're a parent yourself, they'll try to take over your children. They will actually try to groom your children and steal them from you and spoil them and give them gifts and turn your children against you. This is spiritual warfare between your parents. So to answer the initial question, what do you do when your mother is that fucking extremely toxic and everybody's pressuring you to sit down with her to try to mend things and repatch things and reconcile? What do you do when you sit down with this fucking woman, woman to woman, and in her eyes, she doesn't see you as a grown woman. She doesn't respect you as a grown woman. She's still talking down to you like you're a fucking child. She won't take accountability for the things she's done to you, the trauma and pain she's caused you, and she's still sitting there gaslighting you, poking and provoking you. And then when you speak up for yourself, she gets mad. And then she decides to put fucking hands on you. Are you going to sit there and fucking take it? Or are you going to defend yourself? Well, let me tell you something. Watching Jackie Christie and her daughter Chantel, Jackie swung first. That's why I don't put myself in that type of predicament or position with my mother. We can never have a conversation because one wrong word, one wrong move, she blinked wrong, I'm going to jail. And I've put that out there. I don't give a fuck what family thinks about me. I cannot sit down and talk to her because my mother is a full-blown narcissist. She will just deflect, gaslight. She won't own her shit. And she will sit there and be jealous of my growth. She hasn't seen me in so long. I have grown and evolved as a grown woman. I am successful. I am beautiful. My body's in shape. She could not handle seeing me successful. It would eat her alive. So yes, she would sit there and provoke and gaslight and get me to act out of character. And then when I snap, or if I start defending myself and swinging back on her after she hits me first, what I'm going to get is a bunch of fucking backlash from family. That's your mother. How could you hit your mother? How could you talk back to your mother? That's why. I'm so glad we are seeing this play out on reality TV. This is a prime example why you have to cut your mother off. A lot of people judge Chantel like, why did she go on the show? Why did she go on the show? She got a big paycheck. She got paid. So you can't say what you will and wouldn't do. A lot of y'all would have took that paycheck, because you're greedy for money just to get on reality TV, and the same shit would have happened. I would have turned down the check. There's no amount of money. No, not $1 million. There's no amount of money nobody could give me to have a sit down with my mother. I don't want it. Keep your money. She's dead to me. So yes, if your mother puts hands on you first and she's abused you your entire lifetime, you have the right to defend yourself and light her fucking ass up. Light her up. She deserves it. I stand 10 toes down on what the fuck I said. I don't give a fuck who gets mad. Take the title of mother away. Some mothers don't deserve the title. Treat them like trash, the trash that they are.